Hey, this is Angela with Infectious Magazine here with Stephen from Anberlin. How are you?
Very good. Nice to meet you, Angela.
Thank you, you too. Now, how are you feeling? Getting pumped for the show?
I am. I'm just about to start getting pumped. We go on in probably like 40 minutes, so usually right now I'm doing like warm-ups and jumping jacks and punching small chickens, but today, not so much.
It's a calm day.
Yeah, calm day.
Now, diving right in, I saw you guys on Leno a few months ago.
Yeah.
It was a great performance, but even though both your shows and TV shows like that have audiences, is it a little bit different playing in that type of atmosphere?
Oh, absolutely, because like usually you can like kind of work off the audiences, like you can work off like the fans and everybody's getting all excited and singing along. Whereas it's a bunch of people just like staring at you with their arms folded and stuff. So it's so awkward, so awkward. I'd much rather be on a stage than on TV.
And now, I read an interview where Christian had talked about how if you were ever in a city long enough, you'd love to get a bunch of kids together to volunteer, whether it's at like a soup kitchen or a homeless shelter. Have you guys ever thought about doing a tour where you could incorporate that? We
actually are. Great. Wow. That's man, you should just talk to my marketing person. Wow, a good sales pitch. Yes, actually this fall we're going out with a great, incredible band. I'm not allowed to say who yet, but what we're going to try to do is just like, instead of doing a meet and greet, anybody can come and work with us from like 9 to 2, 9 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, and hang out with us and have lunch and all that stuff. And during the day, we'll be working at places like Habitat for Humanity or soup kitchens and stuff like that. So instead of like fans waiting in long lines or hoping to catch us by the bus after the show, anybody can come and meet us and hang out with us or this other band and do something just like that. So yes, we're definitely doing that this fall. Looks like September 15th to October 15th, US tour. So it'll be really fun.
Oh, that's so soon.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Yes.
Now, I know that this has been discussed a little bit, but I just want to talk a little bit about the last song off your latest record, which I can never pronounce the name. I'm so sorry. Off I don't even know how to miserable. How do you say it?
Sure, just pretend.
I'm gonna miserable.
Very good. It's
yeah.
much better than I could do. So
really.
Yep.
So I just want to talk a little bit, about what inspired the song, and I like to keep. I'm sure you do the meaning. You don't want to just say it because it takes away from it a little bit, but just talk about it a little bit.
Sure. I mean, the broad brushstroke is like, there's one group that believes that like God's coming back in May, like this month, and then the Mayans believe that it's in December, and it's just like all these different kind of like end of the world, homeless people holding up signs, the end is near and stuff like that. Did you really?
Right outside here, yeah.
So stuff like that, and it just kind of like, I guess I wrote the song not because like I believed any one of those things are going to actually happen, but because I feel like if you can constantly know that life is short and it's not promised, that maybe the end of the world for somebody in this audience tonight is tonight. Maybe they're going to drive home and a drunk driver hits them, or maybe, who knows, life is just so very fragile. And I feel like if you can just go every day going, man, this may be my last day alive, like you would just live so much more vivacious and just so much more like, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna go try it. I'm gonna move to France. I'm gonna move to New York City. I'm gonna go to college. I'm gonna, like if you just live life to its fullest every day, it doesn't have to be a conspiracy theory to, but it just has to be kind of like a mantra, just kind of like, who knows what tomorrow's gonna bring, so I'm just gonna have the best life I possibly can today.
Now, your music videos are always so different, going from like Paper Than Him, which is one of my favorites, to your latest Impossible, which is brilliant in a completely different way. So I'm just curious, sort of, what determines what the theme will be and what goes into creating them?
Well, a lot of times, we leave it usually to kind of the director to, or the person that's, it's called a treatment. They put in a treatment, and which is like Paper Than Him. Chris Sims did an amazing job, coming up with the whole premise and idea, and then other times like Nate, our drummer Nathan Young, kind of came up with the idea for this last video with Impossible, just as far as he wanted it to be very like cinematography driven and stuff like that. So it depends, if a band member has like a really great idea, we may stick with that. Other than that, we kind of just ask friends. Our keyboardist right now is coming up with a treatment for our next video. He's actually written a web series for Fox, and he's done a lot of movies and stuff like that, so he's a great writer in Hollywood, so it's really cool to kind of hear some of his ideas for the upcoming videos.
Now, what's the decision process like for choosing which songs, how they're getting created, and then what makes it to the album?
Well, I mean, like the last record we wrote about 30 songs and showed it to Brendan O'Brien, our producer. And honestly, I think after you start listening to songs more and more, you can kind of tell what's going to go on the record, because you start kind of like the best ones kind of rise to the top. Like, let me hear that one again. No, I really got some great ideas. And so it's just kind of like one of those things where you all sit around in a room and play all 30, and you just like it really just clicked for us. We just kind of knew what we were going to take.
What is an average practice like for you guys?
So short. We're all so ADHD. It's just kind of like, okay, go. Okay, we're done. You know, so, and the fact is, we've played, you know, like we're on tour probably 200 days or more a year. And so it's like, after a while, you kind of, you know, we only have, I mean, even though we have like 100 different songs we've written, you know, probably 30 or 40 that we'll actually play live. So out of those 30, people pick their favorites, and we've probably played those 30 or 40 at least 1,000 times each, you know? So it's kind of one of those things where we don't really need to practice that long, because, shoot, we've been doing it like 199 days already in a row, so this isn't going to make much of a difference.
Now, what is your opinion on the industry right now?
It's a tough one. I mean, it's the toughest I think it's been in decades, for sure. I mean, new bands have to get second jobs, you know, like, it's just bands our size have to stay on the road constantly if you want to not live with your parents. You know, it's kind of a sad point. It's going to be a massive turning point. I mean, these are the years that we're all going to look back as this giant experiment. You know, it's, you know, with illegal downloading, you're having creativity stifled. You know, I mean, a lot of people like will download a record and just be like, oh, I'm really only hurting the record label. But when all reality is, you're hurting not only like current bands, but you're hurting creativity down the road. Such as, if you owned a record label and you had to make money for your employees, you were a major record label, who would you sign? Would you sign country and pop, or would you sign some experimental band? You know, it's just like, it's a no-brainer now. So like, I think like bands like Anberlin or Circus Survive, or you're going to start seeing them kind of go to the smaller indies, but in the future you're going to see them not ever exist. Like, they'll play shows around their local area, they may put a CD out online, but they'll never tour, and you'll never hear about them, you know, in your coming to your area, because they'll never have been signed. It'll be like country, pop, and rap, you know, and those are going to be the first thing to go in the illegal downloading world of technology is creativity. That'll be the first thing to go, and you're starting to see that now. You know, look at like a Billboard Top 40 and show me one like insanely creative band. Sure, you'll have some sub pop bands like Fleet Foxes or Bon Iver or something like that, but you're not going to see bands that like a Mars Volta or the National or something like that, where, you know, really good bands are just kind of obsolete now.
Such a grim future.
Well, it's not a grim future, because it's just a grim time period. Yeah. You know, like, I think in the future, like, we're going to start seeing things like, you know, how iTunes you can only share with 5 computers. They're going to figure out some way to make it so that CD you buy, you know, you can only download 5 times. Or they're going to make it to where, you know, like, they have this already in the UK, where you pay a subscription, $10 a month, and then you can get any album, every album, any song you want, you know, to listen to on any device. I think that's genius, because I buy more than 1 CD a month, so why wouldn't I buy a CD a month for the rest of my life? You know what I'm saying? So I think subscriptions are going to really, you know, kind of like a Hulu or a Netflix, or New York Times is even doing subscription now. So I think that's what's going to have to be for music. I mean, it just has to be, or, you know, or unless you really, really like Britney Spears for the rest of your life.
God. Now, just a few offbeat closer questions. You guys have traveled pretty much all over the world. So what's one of the most unique things that you've seen as well as eaten?
Wow. Just got back from an awesome trip to like Thailand and the Philippines. And so while I was in the Philippines, I had, well, in Taiwan, I had duck, which I had never had before. But in Thailand, I had a little teeny octopus. And you just basically eat the whole thing whole. And it was so gross, but I just have to eat everything, because it was just kind of one of those things that, like, I'm never going to do this again, ever. And so I'm just going to try it. And especially here, you're like in Taiwan, and, you know, you might as well.
It's totally different. Other cultures, I feel like, enjoy their food so much more. We're just like mowing it down.
Oh, yeah. Really, they do. They take their time. I mean, there's some things, like we went to China, and they had basically like embryo eggs, like eggs that were like half ducks and half still kind of the egg. It was so gross.
Did you try that one?
Scorpions on a stick? No way. Man,
couldn't bring yourself
I've
to
got
it.
a line. I've got a little.
What are some of your hidden talents?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. Man,
Everybody
I
has.
don't know.
Everybody has hidden talents.
I think I'm quick-witted in certain groups. Like I'm so like I was just talking with the 30 Seconds to Mars guys, and I was making them laugh. It was so funny. I don't know why. I just suddenly was so funny. But then I get around like my own band, and I'm so cheesy. And it's not witty. It's cheesy because they're all just kind of like, you know, because they're so funny, and I'm so not. So it rubs off on me when I'm with other people, but when I'm with them, I feel like I'm just not funny at all. I'm really not. So quick-witted, that's my superpower. I'm only quick-witted to 50% of the people I meet.
That's a good one, though. If you could have any superpower.
Oh, like what would it be?
Yeah.
Multiple man, for sure.
Multiple man.
Okay, he was in X Factor. Okay, is this guy, and he could, like, if you punched him, like, I wasn't gonna punch him. Don't flinch. How was your childhood?
Sorry.
Let's not talk about it. It's okay. No, but if you punched him, like, he would split into two, and then you'd have to fight two guys. So I was thinking, like, for those times that I really just want to go home and tours just really, or I'm sick or something, I could just multiple man, and one guy could stay out on the road, and the other can go home. How great would that be?
You figured it out.
Yeah, think about it. So, you know, bands don't make a lot of money. I mean, if you're out for the money, you know, then you might as well just quit now. But if I multiple manned it, this dude's not making money, but the guy at home's working at Geico, just killing it, insurance company, you know what I'm saying? It would be perfect. It would be so perfect.
Just kind of figuring out how to do that.
Hey, you can obviously tell I have put a lot of thought into this. A lot of thought into this.
Now, what about any phobias?
I hate needles.
Really?
I would literally punch a bear in the crotch before I took a needle. No joke. I hate needles. I'm a sissy. I would kick a cobra. I would bite a cobra's head off before I got a shot. I hate needles or shots. Oh.
But what about, like, tattoo nails? Is that different?
No, that's totally different. I don't know. I've got like several tattoos because they don't really. I think it's just how they look. You know what I'm saying? It's long and then it has this big needle, and that's
I've never seen a needle this long before.
Yeah, but that's how they look to me. Bears look this big, you know.
Plus, then you can
needles
watch
this big.
it happening. You know,
It
you're
does.
watching the blood. It's.
Oh, dude.
I'm
no.
sorry.
See, even in movies, I'll just watch a movie knowing it's fake, and I'm like, just don't want to be around it. It's so sad.
Can we expect any more books or albums from Anchor and Barrel from you?
Yeah, I'm working on another book. It's so slow. It's such a process, you know, just because, like, especially with writing a book, because you don't want to, I don't know, you want to say something. And that's what I'm really striving with this book. I just really want to say something. The problem is I don't know what I'm saying right now, so I'm going to wait a little longer. But Anchor and Braille, I've written a few songs, and it looks like an Anchor and Braille for sure record's coming out in 2012. Hopefully early 2012, but we'll see.
Now, what is one question that you would like to be asked but have never been asked, and what is the answer?
That was it.
No, that's cheating. That's cheating.
No, but was that witty though? I'm
laughing,
is my
right?
superpower?
The superpower was my
working.
favorite thing. Yeah.
That's working though. 50%. That was it. That was the question.
All right. I don't think that counts.
That totally counts.
No, you have to give me something else.
That totally counts. I wish Andy would come back here and tell us the time's almost up. Oh my God!
Whoa!
Another
You're psychic too.
And psychic.
Already developed it.
And I can fly. I mean, no, that's it.
All right, and then just anything else you'd like to add?
Oh no, thanks very much. I really appreciate it. This was really fun.
Yeah.
Usually they're boring.
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
This one was only kind of boring.
Oh no.
I'm kidding.
I'm sorry.
Witty.
Wouldn't that